Alright, buckle up. This is a full cinematic-style YouTube script for Drivenology, written as a pure visual review of the 2025 Mercedes-AMG G63 by Carlex design. No headings, no section titles, just smooth narration that flows naturally from exterior to interior to performance to pricing, exactly how high-end car channels do it. The moment this machine rolls into frame, you already know this isn't a normal G-Wagon. This is the 2025 Mercedes-AMG G63 by Carlex design, and it doesn't whisper luxury or power, it announces dominance. The stance alone tells a story. Tall, squared, unapologetically bold, yet refined to a level that feels almost unreal. Carlex design has taken one of the most iconic SUVs ever built and turned it into a rolling piece of automotive art. From a distance, the boxy silhouette remains unmistakably G-Class. That timeless military-inspired shape is still here, and that's important, because messing with the G-Wagon's DNA is risky. But Carlex doesn't change the soul, they elevate it. As the camera moves closer, the details begin to hit you one by one. The custom exterior finish immediately stands out. Depending on the spec, you're looking at deep satin paints, hand-finished metallic tones, or two-tone combinations that feel more like haute couture than automotive paintwork. The surface reflections are smooth, rich, and premium, the kind that makes you stop scrolling. The front end is pure intimidation. The Panamericana grille sits aggressively between those signature round LED headlights, but Carlex adds its own touch with custom surrounds and finishes. The AMG badge isn't just branding here, it's a warning. The front bumper has been redesigned to look more muscular and sculpted, with sharper edges and deeper air intakes that give the G63 a more planted, aggressive look. Even standing still, it looks like it's pushing air out of the way. Move to the side, and the presence becomes even more dramatic. Those iconic exposed door hinges are still there, reminding you of the G-Class heritage, but now they're finished with bespoke detailing. The wheels are massive, custom-forged alloys designed specifically for this build, filling the wheel arches perfectly. Wrapped in wide performance tires, they give the G63 that "don't mess with me" posture. Carlex often widens the arches slightly, not in a flashy way, but just enough to make the SUV look broader and more grounded. The side steps aren't just functional, they're design elements. Finished in carbon fiber or brushed metal depending on the configuration, they add to the layered look of the body. Every line feels intentional, every surface has depth. This isn't aftermarket for the sake of attention, this is design with discipline. As the camera moves toward the rear, the squared-off tail remains classic G-Wagon, but again, Carlex works its magic. The spare wheel cover is custom finished, often color-matched or wrapped in premium materials. The rear bumper gets subtle reshaping, and the quad AMG exhaust tips peek out with authority. When this thing starts up, you don't just hear it, you feel it in your chest. And that sound brings us to what's hiding under the hood. The 2025 AMG G63 is powered by a handcrafted 4.0-liter twin-turbo V8, and yes, it's still very much alive. This engine produces around 577 horsepower and 627 pound-feet of torque, and Carlex doesn't mess with the mechanical reliability that AMG is known for. Instead, they enhance the experience. The exhaust note is deeper, richer, more theatrical. Cold starts are borderline antisocial, and under acceleration, the V8 growls with a rawness that feels almost illegal in a world moving toward silence. Power is sent through a 9-speed AMG SpeedShift automatic transmission, delivering brutal acceleration for something that weighs this much. 0 to 60 happens in just over 4 seconds, which still feels ridiculous when you consider the shape and size of this vehicle. It doesn't move like an SUV, it launches like a performance car on stilts. Despite the luxury and design focus, the G63 hasn't forgotten its off-road roots. 3 locking differentials are still here. Low-range gearing is still present. All-wheel drive ensures traction no matter where you point it. Carlex doesn't turn the G-Wagon into a fragile showpiece, it remains fully capable, just dressed in a custom-tailored suit. Now, open the door, and this is where Carlex design truly separates itself from everyone else. The interior is not just luxury, it's craftsmanship. The smell hits first. Rich leather, natural materials, and that unmistakable scent of hand-built quality. Carlex interiors are often completely reupholstered from scratch, and this G63 is no exception. Every surface you see and touch has been upgraded. The seats are wrapped in premium leather, often featuring diamond stitching, perforated panels, and contrast piping that matches the exterior theme. The color combinations are bold but tasteful. You might see deep burgundy paired with cream, navy blue mixed with tan, or even unique pastel tones depending on the build. This isn't factory beige or black, this is bespoke. The seats aren't just beautiful, they're incredibly supportive, hugging you during aggressive driving while remaining comfortable for long journeys. The dashboard is trimmed in leather and Alcantara, with custom embroidery and hand-finished accents. Carbon fiber elements are real, not plastic, and they're used strategically, on the center console, door panels, and steering wheel. Speaking of the steering wheel, Carlex often reworks it completely, adding thicker grips, flat bottom designs, and custom leather wraps that make it feel like something from a supercar. The dual-screen digital cockpit remains, offering a perfect blend of classic G-Class vibes and modern Mercedes tech. Navigation, performance data, ambient lighting controls, it's all there. And that ambient lighting, it transforms the cabin at night. Soft glows run along the doors, dashboard, and footwells, creating a lounge-like atmosphere that feels more private jet than SUV. Even the rear seats get the VIP treatment. Individual comfort seats, premium materials, and enough legroom to make passengers forget they're in an off-road vehicle. The headliner is often finished in Alcantara, sometimes with custom stitching or subtle patterns that add another layer of exclusivity. The trunk area isn't ignored either. Leather-lined panels, custom flooring, and attention to detail that most manufacturers wouldn't bother with. Everything feels cohesive, like it was designed as one piece rather than modified after the fact. Driving this machine is an experience in contrast. In comfort mode, it's surprisingly smooth. The suspension absorbs bumps better than you'd expect, and the cabin remains quiet enough to have a conversation. Switch to Sport or Sport Plus, and the character changes instantly. Throttle response sharpens. The exhaust opens up. The suspension stiffens. Suddenly, this luxury SUV feels alive and aggressive. Visibility is excellent thanks to the upright seating position, and despite its size, the G63 feels confident on the road. Steering is precise for a vehicle of this class, and the all-wheel drive system keeps everything composed even when you push it harder than you probably should. Now let's talk about the price, because exclusivity like this doesn't come cheap. A standard 2025 Mercedes-AMG G63 already sits in the high six-figure range depending on the market. Once Carlex design gets involved, the price climbs significantly. Depending on the level of customization, materials used, and region, a Carlex-designed G63 can easily cross into the $300,000 to $400,000 range, and in some extreme bespoke builds, even higher. But here's the thing, this isn't about value in the traditional sense. You're not paying just for horsepower or luxury features. You're paying for individuality, for craftsmanship, for a vehicle that looks like no other G-Wagon on the road. This is for someone who doesn't want to blend in, even among the elite. The 2025 Mercedes-AMG G63 by Carlex design isn't trying to be practical. It isn't trying to be subtle. It's a statement, a rolling expression of power, luxury, and personality. It respects the legendary G-Class heritage while pushing design and craftsmanship to a level that few can match. This is not just an SUV. This is not just a luxury vehicle. This is a bold declaration on four wheels. And this is exactly the kind of machine we live for here on Drivenology.